Howdy, howdy, everyone. Welcome to Babble with Bronies. I am your host, Everlasting Joy, and with my partner in crime, Mr. Ben. So, as I said, there's going to be a lot of big announcements this week. And yeah, I know I'm preaching only to Mr. Ben here, but hopefully some folks will stop by later. And as such, I will announce things now, the big plans I planned on, but I probably will repeat them if they drop by. This show is pretty darn loose as it is anyway. Yes, we've been. I know I've been hinting and hinting and hinting at the fact that we're moving to a different site for the past, including this one, 2 episodes now. And I apologize for that, and I'm still not going to tell you where exactly we're going. I will say this. You will have an answer by, at the latest, this Wednesday. When we announce the new episode of Babble with Bronies, I will announce where we are going. That's the latest. I'm hoping we can get it out by Monday. But but I kind of want the people we're moving to announce it first. But like I said, at the latest, you will find out on Wednesday. By the way, before I forget, speaking of, now the reason we're doing this show today on Sunday is because we're going to be, from now on, doing it on Sundays. By the way, I see you there, Muffinshire. Howdy. As I said, we'll be doing the show on Sundays now. Same time, new location by next week, but we're going to be doing it on Sundays because of schedule conflicts with the new clients. But we'll discuss more in detail when we get there. And I'll be talking about some of these other changes here in a moment, but this is why I wanted to do it on Sunday, was to get everyone into the habit of working on Sunday here. Mr. Ben, I like that. Just not saying bat channel. Wouldn't that be same bat time, though? Now, let's see, where was I? I will say this directly to you, Muffinshire. I did see your new comic. I don't have it in my queue here for stuff to show for 2 reasons. One is because I have a lot of content to show this week. Not only just these announcements I'm making here, but just overall, the content amount is just a lot. 2, I want your, where we're moving, we're going to have a lot more clientele to be dealing with. And this goes for a couple of other artists here, and I wish they were here, but some of the other artists that I didn't put in some of their content this week, towards the very end of the week, was like Pixel Kitties. Who was another one? There was another one. I know it. Oh, Death Pony. That's who. There's a couple others too, but I'm not showing their work this week because I want to show it to the larger clientele next week. I want you guys to get a little bit more exposure. So I apologize, Muffinshire, that your comic is not in this week. If you want to leave and never come back, I won't blame you. I'll still show your work, but like I said, you're free and clear to leave and never come back. Anyway, one of the things, like I said, we'll be moving to our new site. I know I just said it, but I'll repeat it for Muffinshire's sake. You'll find out on Wednesday, if not sooner. Most likely Monday. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, yes. The show will still run roughly the same. Thankfully, we agreed on the clients and I agreed on basically the only thing that'll change, that the only power they have, while they do have a bit of a supremacy clause, the only supremacy clause of that is if they have something going on at Sunday at 3 o'clock my time, which, given their track record, that ain't going to happen. So, and I'm going to guess really good money that that a lot of stuff will be catered around me. but we'll see. However, the one thing that I will say is I personally will still be the owner and operator of Babble with Bronies. So basically what my say in the matter of this show goes. So I can leave at any time. If for whatever reason I decide to, we will. Assuming the circumstances are reasonable. But the point being is that if you guys feel I should move, I want you to tell me, and I will consider it, of course. Anyway, the other thing that I wanted to note is I feel free to object to this, folks, but I think I'm going to retire the call-in feature. We've had this for how long? For the 35 episodes or 34 episodes that we've been running here, and I've only seen it been used a few times now. So I think I'm going to retire it, partially because of this move. I don't know where I'm going to put it, and even if I did, it's just that, as Mr. Ben put it, no one uses it. So why should I bother to offer it if no one's going to use it? And I'll announce this when we move. I'll tell the people I used to have a call-in feature, and if you want it back, check out on the bottom. You can basically put yourself in the queue, assuming you have the microphone and stuff set up. You get that set up, and then you're put in a queue. And then when I ask you to come on, then I'll bring you on. That's how it works. But like I said, I don't know if I'm going to use it. Part of the problem of using it is when do I use it? During the show. But most of it during content and whatnot, I could make it work. Even if I said, at the beginning of the show, at the end of the content, and then at the beginning and end of the episode or something, second hour. But anyway, it's still up there. Feel free to use it, guys, for this episode. It's up, it's running. But like I said, I think after this episode, I'm going to retire it unless I get enough people saying I want that call-in feature back. Is there anything, Mr. Ben, is there anything you can think of in regards to the move that that you want to add to this? I think I've covered everything, but just in case I didn't. Sorry. I know I've been itching to I've been wanting to tell you guys, the audience, for ever since this thing was announced long time ago. But out of courtesy for them, the clients, I always had to hold my tongue. But anyway, let's get started with the content. I know you guys aren't here to just listen to me babble on about our move. But the only piece of news... Actually, I'll take that back. Let me look at... Okay, yeah. The only piece I have in the news category, since it was held on Friday, was the Brony State news. Thankfully, I could have gotten it where it held Saturday, but I digress. A movie for this week, the week of the 1st of February. A movie is The Fifth Element. Pony Episode 1 is The Cutie Pox. B movie is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, the one with Ivan Ooze. And the second Pony episode is Applebuck Season. Finally, about time Cutie Pox got shown, though I remember for the longest time for about, it was like a 6-week span where it was shown 3 times or so. Something like that anyway. But anyway. Mr. Ben, I see what you're saying there. All right. What do we want to go with first? Art or music? Oh, very funny, Mr. Ben. So I got one for art. Let's make it a third, Mr. Ben. Two for art. Okay. So art it is. Now, as I said earlier, we've got a ton of content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show everything. I'm going to show at least one piece of art from everyone. And then for the videos, I'm going to show the same thing. I'm going to show at least one piece from everyone. Anything left over, we will cover at the end of the show. Howdy, Twilight. All right, so let's get started. First two I'm going to... first two are by Soapy Solar. Mr. Ben, would you do me a favor and just kind of fill in Twilight on some of the stuff we went over with the move, please? All right, first one is by... These first two are by Soapy Solar. I'm going to get these out of the way right away. First one's titled Reformed. Yeah, this is from the Season 3, Episode 9. Hot diggity dog, she always knows how to make cute. She makes cute in art form, folks. There's a link. Oh, fine, clever pony. Friendship is magic. Actually, I should probably... No need to see my ugly mug. I love the way she drew Discord's face in this. I really do. It's big, round, just absolutely cute. And of course, she knows how to do Fluttershy to a T. She really does. All right. Now this next one's an OC request, and I know I don't particularly like showing a lot of OC ponies, but again, it kind of falls under that as a permanent member, I show them. This one is called Candy Star by Soapy Solar. Clever pony. Well, isn't that what everyone's OC is? The black and red alicorn with bat wings, the broken horn, and the Gummy's eyes, and with God knows what kind of greaves. Yeah, I know you said black orphan alicorn, but I just couldn't help but go with the black and red piece. Anyway, this is an OC request from Soapy. I give her credit, the commissioner. This is a cute OC. It's not overwhelming, and of course it's not a red and black alicorn. Yeah, the shades. You're right. Shades, a beard and or necklace, and all that other fun jazz they put on those. Ugh. I know there's. I think sometimes people might make these OCs because they're intentionally trying to be obnoxious. Mr. Ben. That would have been funny. That would have been really funny. I did give you the link. All right, let's move on. A lot of these people only have about one or two of them, but a few of them do have some. A lot of them do have. Some of them have more than one art piece that I need to show. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, I remember what I forgot, what I was going to tell everyone. When it comes to the move, this website, the tripod website, we are not, I repeat, not shutting it down. Most likely, though, the show piece of it I might get rid of, or at least I'll put on the offline message that we are, we moved and we're not broadcasting here. But it's mostly going to be remain for this site will be up for archiving purposes. We'll still archive here. And I'll make announcements on here, like episode announcements, even though the clients are probably going to beat me to it. So you'll know when you see who our clients are, you'll understand. But I'll still make announcements. I'll still do the normal stuff. I'll still make Facebook and Twitter announcements on the same day. So like I said, if you're comfortable with following me on Twitter, DeviantArt, or Facebook, or you just check this website from time to time, don't worry, nothing's going to change. Anyway, this next one is called Cadence and Armor by Incinerator. There we go. Yeah, this is easily Incinerator's signature work, and I love him for it. I'll read the little caption here. I'm ready to join Shining Armor and Queen Ariel on their quest. It's a Ariel is an OC, and it's for it's a fanfic that he or she is writing. We'll keep an eye on that, but for now, just admire the photo, folks. Yeah, pretty much, Mr. Ben. All right, moving along here. Excuse me, I was getting some water. Is the we should be getting Muffinshire. I see it, Twilight, and I'm debating if I should answer that or not. I think it's going to be both Twilight is Magic. But I think that when we're broadcasting, we're going to be... okay, fair enough. When we broadcast, it's probably going to be broadcasted still under the Babble with Brony's name. Since, as I said, I know you weren't here, but as I said, this is still an independent entity. The only thing that the clients are going to be is nothing more than a broadcasting site, just for a larger audience. Other than that, Babble with Bronies will still be it'll still be Babble with Bronies, just on a different site. Kind of a Emperor's New Clothes type of thing. Same Emperor, but he's just wearing different clothes. All right, which one do I want to go with next here? Okay, so I'll say that for if he does show up. I think I'll go with this one too. All right, this next one is by our good friend Death Pony, titled "Yay." I might just take you up on that, Twilight is Magic. I just might. I might do that anyway because it would certainly be a better banner than what we have. I told Death Pony in the comments here, I told him, you realize you have Fluttershy standing on top of a cloud over everyone, doing, without a doubt, one of the cutest things that she has ever done in this show. Do you know how many people you just killed with her lethal adorableness? I forgot what he said, but I think it was something like, ha ha ha, yeah, I agree with you, or something like that anyway. Yeah, that's about the best way of putting it, is just... Okay, I did get you the link. Good. Good, good, good. I really like the way he colored this one. It just has a really nice, warm feeling to it. But one of the things I do like is the mane and tail details that he puts on them. Weapon of mass cuteness. All right, moving along here. Okay, I'll show this one. This next one is titled Forest Globe by Citra 360. Since we'll continue the theme of Fluttershy here. See if I can blow this up a little bit. All right, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Once again, Citra he flexes his muscles here. I don't know. Was he going for something grand here? Or maybe he was just drawing something, just for fun. I don't know. But again, I will state time and time again, I love his lighting effect in this one. The sparkles, the butterflies. How so, Mr. Ben? I think you're right, Twilight is magic. By the way, there is something I do want to might be a depth. Okay, I can see why you would say that. I guess given the way they screw pony anatomy in the show, that this isn't much to be expected. However, okay. Yeah, I can see why you would say that, and I can kind of agree with you on that. This is what I'm looking like right now, folks, looking at it. Okay. Well, yeah. Constructive criticism is always welcomed on this show, even if the artist will never see it. All right, let's carry on. There is something that I will bring to your attention concerning Citra. However, its time has passed. He was earlier in the week asking for forever. He was having a give me a bucket of sponges and I'll do that, Mr. Ben. You wonder why I allow the audience to why I like you guys and why I want to talk with you guys. Anyway, I'll bring this up, but he's going to Las Pegasus, that convention in, I think it's Las Vegas. Yeah, I'm pretty certain of it. Well, yeah, that's true. Twilight is magic. That's very true. Anyway, if he was going to sell he's selling shirts there. He originally asked us to vote on which ones to bring, and of course, it's now over. Thanks for the tip, TIM. But and I don't know if he's posted the results or not. But if you're going to be there or you're a huge Citra fan, it's something to keep your eyes on. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, moving along here. Let's go with Harwick's art here. Or wait, no, I'll wait on that one. Just because if he shows up again, this way I haven't shown it. This one, next one is called Aethernaut, the TPM airship captain by Inky Notebook. Yeah, Inky Notebook finally is appearing in the uh, artist section. There's a few Stan Lee jokes I'm thinking of right now, Mr. Ben. Mostly his Simpsons cameo. But only Batman fits in my Batmobile. Anyway, getting back to the ponies. This is the Traveling Pony Museum's mascot. Or at least if I recall right, their new one. Captain of the, quote, Captain of the whale ship, the airship, Aethernaut brings the Traveling Pony Museum to conventions across the United States, end quote. So yeah, it's their mascot. But cool. That's all I have to say to it. Finally, they get a... I saw her in development some time ago, or at least I saw her as a concept of some sort. I do remember seeing someone like this, but of course there was no name to it, and I think she was just there more than anything. I do have to give her credit for the color scheme, most in particular. It looks wonderful as an air, a pony who works in the air. And yeah, of course, the goggles, the bomber jacket, the boots. She really put thought into this, and it's absolutely wonderful. All right, moving along. I'll show his next. This next one is a new guy named Geomancing. Created Dignity. You're going to love this one, guys. I know you will. Say if it ever pops up. Yeah. There's the link. I'm going to read you the description. Cancel all my appointments this afternoon. It's a lovely day and I intend to spend it enjoying myself, not listening to droning voices in a stuffy audience chamber. Yes, including his. The ambassador can go visit a museum and come back tomorrow. That was Celestia speaking. Now, quote, Geomancer. My family has horses, and from personal experience, I can attest that there is very little as undignified as a horse rolling on its back. But hey, Celestia is well over 1,000 years old. Dignity is for those who have something to prove. A warm afternoon in the shade is far more important. Yeah, I'm with all you guys here saying this. It's just forget the dignity piece. This is just adorable. And the sole fact that it's Celestia doing that, yeah, given her character in the show, I could so see her doing this. Just one day, it's a nice day. Forget the politics, forget the stuff I have to do. I'm going outside and there isn't a darn thing you can do about it. Exactly that, Mr. Ben. Got you the art. All right. Yeah, when I saw this piece, I thought, this so has to be on the show. This really does. Got that one. We're actually doing okay on time here. Okay, next one, we'll get Pixel Kitty's stuff done with here. Now, she has two pieces, and I will discuss them. First one's titled Pinky Special Delivery. I think this was for Valentine's Day / Hearts and Hooves Day. That's a good point, Twilight. That might be because that might be just because Dash is sitting on it, but maybe yeah, maybe Derpy made the cloud. I mean, Derpy is there in the background after all. Am I the only one who got SpongeBob SquarePants vibes from this, folks? I know it's of course only seen or shown one day of the year, the Valentine's Day episode. But for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, in the Valentine's Day episode, in the very beginning, SpongeBob is literally throwing around Valentine's to everyone and hand delivering them. But it's the hand delivering part that I'm most concerned about. I could totally see Pinky going around doing the very same thing, sending out Valentine's Day cards like this. And you know what? I'm all for it. Clever pony. You raise a good point, Twilight is Magic. And as Mr. Ben or someone pointed out earlier, you don't mess with Cadence because unlike the other royal sisters who will banish you or at least keep you alive, Cadence is just going to smoke you. Maybe it is just for a day. Maybe Cadence just said, you know what? I want the day off. Go knock yourself out, Pinky. Just a thought. If by love and tolerate, you mean shred and explode. All right, moving along here. Yeah, I'll get his out of the way too. Next one is called King Kiwatin by Captain Pudge Muffin. Yes, Twilight. Finally. And I do have to thank you for introducing me to him, by the way. Needs a little backstory, so I'll read you the description here. King of the Wendigos and former patron of the wild Everfree skies, Kiwatin and his Wendigos agree to assist the Nightmare Moon, in her coup over Celestia. Promised a country of bitter, angry ponies to feed off of, the starving spirits eagerly agree to mount an assault on Canterlot. But before their forces could be mustered, Nightmare Moon was defeated, and the arriving Wendigo army found the ponies ready and waiting. Numbers dwindling, hungry, and demoralized, the ragtag group of survivors and their king fled to the far north, where they hid deep in the low hanging clouds of the mountain blizzards. I don't think for time's sake I will read anymore. But I will give you this. Here's the link if you wish to read it. Knock yourselves out. So that's the story behind it. One of the things that I really have to give him credit for is King Kiwatin myself. Hold on, I see. I realized it dropped a bit, the connection. I apologize, folks. Anyway, as I was saying, King Kiwatin himself is really well done and really well detailed. It's really impressive here. Take it from a guy who lives in a place that's really cold. His ice effects are wonderful. The smoke coming out of his nose, folks, that's about what it looks like. Your breath on a really, really, we're talking really cold day. That's a good point, Clever. Or if anything, No, that was him who brought it up. So, yeah. Anyway, moving along now. All right. Now you get to listen to my falsetto again. Next one is titled Signed, Sealed, and Delivered by Toxic Mario. See if I can center this a little bit better. Hopefully, I don't know what's causing a lot of these streaming problems on my end, folks. But I'll look into them when we move. Maybe the clients will know a little bit better about this. Derby, what in Equestria are you doing? I'm wrapping up winter. Want to help? There is the question of yellow snow, though. Twilight is magic. Oh, great. Thank you, Clever Pony. Now you're going to have that song running through my head. I'll be honest, though. I'll take that song over a lot of other songs. Sure, sure, Twilight. Sure, sure. All right. Let's carry on before I start before I lose control here, folks. Did I totally miss that thing about from Pixel Kitties? I did. All right, I'm going to get to hers really quickly. This one's titled Shirtpocalypse. This is just an announcement on her behalf that she's what did it say? Raise this barn, raise this barn. Never thought about that, Mr. Ben. And given the way the barn goes down, they might as well raise it one day. What's it saying? I think she's just giving links to the shirts she has made and some of the she's giving. It's just links to the newest shirts of hers. I don't think it's anything on a discount or anything, but if you like Pixel Kitty shirts, if you like what you see here, check them out. All glory to the Dizatron. Clever. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. All right, 3 pieces of art left. This one is titled Prize Dream Whisper and Skybrush by Vifex. Unfortunately, he's not here today. Oh, well. This one, he was running a contest a long time ago. I don't think I was able to cover it for one reason or another. I think it was over Christmas break. Yeah, Christmas contest. This person, Dreampaw, won his second place in his contest. I am loving the way... I know I've only been parroting this for the last 10 episodes or so, ever since I started... yeah, I know. Ever since I've started showing him, but I'm loving the way he's going. And folks, if you've seen what I've seen with him getting involved in this community, I would go so far to say that he's matured. He has finally reached the point where he has matured. And as someone like me who follows people, that's the kind of stuff I love to be a part of. It's the kind of stuff that makes me get up in the morning. I didn't get it. Remember that, folks, that I said matured. That'll come back one day. I assure you this. Soon enough, too, I'm hoping. Anyway, this next one is by Harwick's Art. Both Twilight and Muffinshire. All right, this next one is titled "Hit and Fly" by Harwick's Art. Yeah, you guys probably saw this one floating around the web. I'll read. I'm just going to read a piece from this. One of my favorite things about Twilight is that, for all her phenomenal powers, leadership skills, and intelligence, she's basically the quote-unquote butt monkey of the group. Whether it's Derpy dropping progressively heavier things on her head, a series of injuries made to match the appearance of her future self, or Fluttershy teaching her the answer to what wet and clueless means, Twilight often ends up adorably trampled by the fates. I just tend to love watching the world slap that poor sweet pony around. Gee, Twilight is magic. I can't imagine why. Wink, wink. But that's okay. It's okay to like the same pony for various reasons. I sit here with my signature red mixing cup, folks, and I'm already a little more than halfway gone with it. Anyway, to be fair, half the time, I think you're right, Mr. Ben. They certainly were in episode 15. In episode 15, you know what we just saw last week. So there's some truth to that. Though I don't think the bucket on the head, wet and clueless one, was necessarily hers. That was just dumb luck more than anything. I gotta say though, that skid mark that is the puddle there. Ow. Ow. If Twilight took the full brunt of that. Flutter bitch. Yeah, that was Discord. We'll get into that when we get to those episodes, because there is something I do want to talk about that's special with Twilight and Discord, but I think you guys already know what that is and where I would go with that. But anyway, for the time's sake, let's move on. This next one is by Colt Steel Stallion, titled Sweet Dreams. I forgot about this one, but how did it go? Oh, this one, yes. Oh, smooth. I'll try and... The picture is going to be terrible, folks, so I apologize for that. But I'll just try and... I will try my best to give you the idea of things here. Very true, Twy. Very true. Very true. I don't know why I'm doing my Lily Von Stupp impersonation here, but why not? Wah, 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 wah. You got that right, Muffinshire. Fatality. Flawless victory. And last on our list, this one goes out. This one you're going to like, Mr. Ben, I assure you. This one is by Vest. Remember we showed his work last week? This one's titled Early Winter Thaw. Just hope it's good enough. I have to keep it this, keep it here. Yeah, I know it's a bit shipping, and I know you guys probably are aware that I'm not a huge shipper fan, but I thought this one was harmless enough that I could show it. And given how much I appreciate his work, plus I always like it when people take their own design to the show. I really do. What's wrong with the legs, Mr. Ben? I'm going to check the description. I think there was something that I needed to say. Yeah, as he put it, throwing a bit of the G4 cast into a more G1 style. It does kind of Clever Pony. It get for me, it's always a case by case scenario. Some of them, some people when they do um, their own interpretation, some of them can be really good. Like for instance, check out the artist Amino, Amenoo. I've got a few of them on there. If you need help finding her, I can show you. She does a really, really good take on this. It's basically a G4 G1 hybrid design. But yeah, there are a few out there. I don't know any, so don't ask me. In which, when they horsify it too much, it does look bad. But yeah, I'm with you on in some ways, folks. That sometimes when they put too much horsification to it, yeah, there's a word I never thought I'd be using today or at all. um, what was it I was going to say? That yeah, sometimes it's too much and it just goes, whoa, no, Nelly, no. But in this case, I think it works. I personally think it works. Now, did I give you the? Yes, I did. Good, good, good. That's fine. Like I said, I don't expect you guys to say I like everything that you show on here. That's just ludicrous. That's just silly. And that's okay that we discuss this stuff. I wish the artists were more here to elaborate and defend their stuff, but that can't always be the case. But what was it I was going to say? Oh yeah, all I ask is just decency on it. That's all I ask. Anyway, let's move on. I know we've wasted quite a bit of time on that, or I guess not wasted in so much as that's a little more than I was hoping to spend on it. But that's okay. To be honest, folks, I would much rather have more content that I know what to do with than very little content. I really would. And second, given that this is the last episode we'll be showing here on the Tripod website, I kind of did want to have a lot of stuff to show, just a lot of really cool stuff. Anyway, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artists in the videos, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there was something I was supposed to do with that early winter thaw one. The Early Winter Thaw was in collaboration with someone named Cartoon Lion. I'm going to give you her DA page so that I may fulfill my duties. There we go. Check her out. Since she had a hand in this, I think it's only fair that we give her credit as well. Not only that, he requested it, and I will honor that. Anyway, as I was saying, we have quite a bit of number of videos here. So, since we only have about 10 minutes, do you guys want me to show all of it? One from each artist, or up until the 1 hour mark, move on to the episode, and then show this stuff afterwards? I see you guys kind of leaning towards show everything, or at least one from everyone. Okay, there's one from each. Yeah, we've got 7 pieces. Okay, so we'll show one from everything then, since that's what everyone's voting. The only repeats are going to be from Vifex. We have 7 pieces, and one of them I just need to do what I just did with Cartoon Lion, address you to their pages. So okay, so Clever's leaning show all. I've got one for show all, one from each. So can I from Twilight and Mr. Ben, can I get definitive answers, please? I got one for show all, so show all is in the lead. I will cast a tiebreaker if that comes about. Maybe we shouldn't have said that, but Mr. Ben? Show all. All right, show all wins. First one is from our good friend Allie Oopster. She did a cover of Tubby Wubby Pony Waifu. Let me just silence my mic.
Hey, Dash.
Yeah?
Want to sing a song with me?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. Here we go.
Fine.
I think that you're rather unique. Perhaps you're something new. And if you'd like to oblige, I'd like to get to know you.
You seem fundamentally fun. I feel like being your friend. Let's see the big city lights and find how well we blend.
I hope you won't mind if I say I'm smitten by your smile. I hope you like all my jokes and that you'll stay for a while.
I'd gab that your humor is grand, at least what I understand. It seems your passion rubs off. It's better than I planned.
It's the start of something too great. It's really much too profound. I'm glad we've entered a chance. It's frankly hard to expound. I told you that, I had a crush on
I
you.
hope you're kidding, right?
No.
You scare me. Yeah, I know that, you and I are practically the same person, but it's a little too close for me.
But Rainbow,
No, can you stand a little farther away? A little farther.
Is this good?
Farther.
Oh.
Tubby Wubby Pony Waifu, the cover by Ali Oopster. 27. Zilink. Hey. We'll get to Vifex's here. This one is titled Changeling. Changeling by Vifex. Link. I love some of these videos that just pop up. Related. How? Anyway, this is the Dash dub, or Vifex featuring the Dash dub, titled Sisterly Love. It's a collaboration. Okay, it's not opening up from here. Let me pull it up manually, folks. Effects featuring the Dash dub. Sisterly Love. Yes, Twilight is magic. Yes, it is. Here we are. Ever since I found Discord's domain and I realized exactly what it is, I realized something. This show, Babble with Bronies, is nothing more than the live version of that. Now, of course, since we came first, it begs the question, did Discord's domain copy us? And of course, the answer to that is no. We weren't. Neither of us were brought to either's attention until neither entity was aware of each other until Mike introduced me to you guys. In which case, what I was going to say, we had already established ourselves. But I do find it a little almost uncanny at this point that the two entities are, something like that, Twy, China and Korea. There's distinct differences, but there are also some very peculiar similarities. I think I got it. Anyway, if I didn't, I apologize. I'll get it to you guys later. And finally on Vifex's list, Lost in the Everfree. I'm just going to let this one speak for itself, folks. I think we've said quite a bit about it in the chat here. And that might be it, what I was referring to when I said I think I might have heard that piece. But yeah, that image, I swear I've seen it used before. But anyway, carrying on here. Now this next one, it's not really a song, but it's really quite just a surreal experience. I want you to close your eyes and just let the sound sink in. This one is titled Legends Box, The Lost City by Legendary. And somehow it didn't appear on this one. I know why it didn't, but my bad.
Consider staying in place until the threat has subsided or blown over.
Take personal security precautions to avoid becoming a victim of an attack. Avoid crowded public areas and gatherings. Do not travel into areas affected by the attack or in a known area of elevated virus activity. Report suspicious activities and call 911 for immediate response. Expect delays, searches of personal property, and restricted access to public buildings. Keep emergency supplies accessible and think again at all times. Be prepared to evacuate children or shelter on the order of local authorities. Expect traffic delays and restrictions.
There's the link. Legends Box, Lost City by Legendary. All right. Next one is by Daniel Everhart Music, titled "Something to Be Remembered By." Now I have this one was also a collaboration, so I'll link you to the collaborators' YouTube page when we're done here. But in the meantime, something to be remembered by. And I wouldn't be shocked if you guys heard this one during the week. But anyway, let's go.
First you head off on your own, going to explore lands unknown. Gave us each a special book with magic pictures for us to look. Now you're far off in Canterlot. Many parties you need to flaunt. Left us all with something sweet. Instructions for your favorite treat. These wildest tears from your eyes. We know it's hard to say goodbye. What's harder is what's left behind. The taste of trinkets, a flower to remind. It's something to be remembered by. You left us to design your style, and those ponies lined up for miles. But you still made us one last dress, one that still continues to impress. You went off to go help your kin. Gotta be there through the thick and thin. Before we have to say our goodbyes, had some cider with the Please wipe those tears from your eyes. We know it's hard to say goodbye. What's harder is what's left behind. The taste of trinkets, a flower to remind. Something to be remembered by. Finally fulfilled your dream. You made it to the wonderful team. A flower giving to you from me, and the rainbow for all to see. Please wipe those tears from your eyes.
And for some reason, it's buffering. I apologize, folks. Yeah, if there's one thing that I've noticed with the new YouTube, and this could go back to the oldest version, why don't they just finish the stream? Why do they have to give us like stream up to like the quarter of the video and then just stream along as it loads. Why did you do that? Maybe it's a setting. Maybe. I don't know. I'll look into it. Anyway, let's finish this up. Something to be Remembered By, featuring MemJ0123 and Blue Nose Reindeer. Now, as I said, I would give you their YouTube pages. Here is Blue Nose Reindeer's. And MemJ's. Welcome to my cave, she says. And there we go. Like I said, the only thing I have to say about this video is I wish, I've noticed this quite a lot recently. The vocal and instrumental balance needs to be balanced a lot better amongst a lot of people. And some of this might just be from inexperience. But one of the things that I've noticed is the instrumentals always seem to overshadow the vocals. And if they're you don't do that. Please, people. Make it so that I can hear the vocals. Anyway, this next one I gotta share a bit of a story with you guys. I originally sent this one out, I don't even remember how long ago. But you probably heard it when it came out. This one is titled This Day Aria from My Little Pony by the Opera Pony. Anyway, I sent this one out to ask for it quite a long time ago. And only about two nights ago, I finally got a response from them. And they said they'd show it. And I always said, I just know this is going to happen one day. I'm going to send a letter out. It'll be past that time, but they'll give me their permission. I'll show it anyway. So yes, I was prepared for this. Anyway, This Day Aria from My Little Pony by the Opera Pony. For the love of Pete.
This day is going to be perfect, the kind of day of which I dreamed since I was small. Every pony will gather round, say I look lovely in my gown. What they don't know is that I have fooled them all. This day was going to be perfect, the kind of day of which I dreamed since I was small. But instead of having cake with all my friends to celebrate, my wedding bells, they may not ring for me at all. I could care less about the dress, I won't partake in any cake. Vows will all be lying when I say that through any kind of weather I want us to be together. The truth is I don't care for him at all. I lying if I say that I feel that I may lose him to one who wants to use him, to care for, love, and cherish him each day. For I also love the groom of my thoughts he does consume. Oh, shining armor, I'll be there very soon. Finally, the moment has arrived for me to be one lucky bride. Oh, the wedding we will make, you'll end up marrying nothing. Shining armor will be mine, all mine.
And you know what's funny? When I didn't get the response back, I was like, oh, I so wanted to show this one. So finally, I got to show it, and and let me show you how happy I am, folks. I'd show you my teeth, but it just look evil. All right. That's it, folks. That's it for content. Yeah, hour and 30 minutes we spent on content. That's a new record. But anyway, enough of my jabbing. Let me get things set up, and we will watch the episode.
Now, what have we learned? Lots of control. Good. Screaming and hollering. Yes, and most importantly, passion. Right. So now that you know the elements of a good cheer, let's hear one. Yay. Ugh, you're gonna cheer for me like that? Louder. Yay. Louder. Yay. Louder! Yay. Ugh. Too loud.
My little pony, my little pony. Ah,
I used to wonder what friendship could be.
my little pony.
Until you all shared its magic with me. Big adventure. Tons of fun.
A beautiful heart, faithful and strong.
Sharing kindness.
It's an easy feat, and magic makes it all complete. You have mine.
Did you know you're all my very best friends? Yay. And now, phase one of my routine. Phase two. Way to go. Here we go. Phase three. The Sonic Rainboom. Come on! Uh-oh. Last one. Thank you so much for helping me clean up all these books, guys. It was a crazy weekend of studying. Oh. Rainbow Dash, you rock. Woohoo. Did my cheering do that? Sorry about that, ladies. That was a truly feeble performance. Actually, it wasn't all bad. I particularly liked it when you made the cloud spin. I'm not talking about my performance. I'm talking about yours. That feeble cheering.
What are you two arguing about?
Were we arguing? I'm sorry. I wish you guys could come to Cloudsdale to see me compete in the Best Young Flyer competition.
What's that?
It's where all the greatest Pegasus flyers get together and show off their different flying styles. Some are fast. And some are graceful. Golly, I'd love to see you strut your stuff in that competition. Yeah, I wish you guys could be there. Fluttershy's a great support, but her cheering isn't exactly inspirational. I'd love to see you make a Sonic Rainboom. It's like the most coolest thing ever, even though I've never actually seen it. But I mean, come on, it's a Sonic Rainboom. How not cool could it possibly not be?
What's a Sonic Rainboom?
You really need to get out more. The Sonic Rainboom is legendary. When a Pegasus like Rainbow Dash gets going so fast, boom! A Sonic Boom and a rainbow can happen all at once. And Rainbow Dash here's the only pony to ever pull it off. It was a long time ago. I was just a filly. Yeah, but you're gonna do it again, right? Are you kidding? I'm the greatest flyer to ever come out of Cloudsdale. I could do Sonic Rainbooms in my sleep.
Wow, if you pull that off, you'll win the crown for sure.
The grand prize is an entire day with the Wonderbolts. A whole day of flying with my lifelong heroes. It'll be a dream come true. Yay. I'm gonna go rest up. Don't want to over-prepare myself, you know. You, on the other hand, better keep practicing. I need a cheering section to match my spectacular performance. She's practiced that move 100 times and she's never even come close to doing it. I don't know if I can cheer loud enough to help her.
Well, guess we better get this cleaned up. Again.
Go on, go on.
Go on what?
Find a spell that will get us wingless ponies into Cloudsdale. Didn't you see how nervous she was? Nervous? Have you spit your bit or something? She was tooting her own horn louder than the brass section of a marching band. Oh, please. I have put on enough fashion shows to recognize stage fright when I see it. We've got to find a way to be there for her. Now go on!
Ugh. How am I supposed to find a flight spell in this mess?
A flight spell? One sec. Page 27. How'd you do that? It landed on my face when Rainbow Dash knocked me into the bookcase.
Here it is. A spell that will allow Earth ponies to fly for 3 days. Ooh, it looks really difficult. I'm not sure I can do it.
You've got to try.
Okay, but who's gonna volunteer to be the test subject?
I will. For Rainbow Dash, I will go first.
Here goes. I think it worked.
You've got to learn to be assertive, Fluttershy. Don't be afraid to speak up.
Well, well, well. What do we have here?
It's our old friend, Rainbow Crash.
Get kicked out any flight schools lately?
I didn't get kicked out.
Face it, Rainbow Crash. Flight school had too many rules and not enough nap times for you.
Ask her about the Sonic Rainboom.
That's nothing but an old mare's tale. You don't have the skills to try something like that.
Now, wait just a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be more assertive. Anyhow, she is going to do a Sonic Rainboom.
No, she's not, because there's no such thing.
Then show up at the Cloudaseum and see for yourself. If you're free.
I'll be free.
Oh, don't worry. We'll be there.
See you then, Rainbow Crash.
Did you see that? I was so assertive. Those guys are right. I'll never be able to do it. But Rainbow Dash, just because you failed the Sonic Rainboom 100,000 times in practice doesn't mean you won't be able to do it in front of an entire stadium full of impatient, super critical sports fan ponies. Ah! What do I do? Every pony's gonna see me fail, Scouts will never let a loser like me join. Princess Celestia will probably banish me to the Everfree Forest. My life is ruined. Rare? The Sonic Rainboom is way more than rare.
Rarity?
Rarity! Are you flying?
I most certainly am. Aren't my wings smashing? Twilight made them for me. I just adore them. Why so shocked? We couldn't leave our favorite flyer without a big cheering section.
We? I can't believe it!
It's incredible.
This is so cool! You guys made it!
Sure did.
Wait! How'd you do that? Only Pegasus ponies can walk on clouds.
Pretty cool, huh? I found a spell that makes temporary wings, but it was too difficult to do more than once, so I found an easier spell that lets the rest of us walk on clouds.
And we came to cheer you to victory. To be honest, I was starting to get just the tiniest bit nervous. But I feel a lot better now that you guys are here. Hey, we've got some time before the competition. Why don't Fluttershy and I show you around Cloudsdale?
That sounds wonderful.
Here it is, the greatest city in the sky. Some of the greatest Pegasi in history came from Cloudsdale. Oh, wait for me!
Those wings are gorgeous.
Why, thank you. Be careful with those wings, Rarity. They're made from gossamer and morning dew, and they're incredibly delicate.
Don't worry, Twilight. I'm sure they can't get worn out from too much attention.
Since we're up here, I'd sure like to get a look at where the weather's made. Great idea! Come on, girls, to the Weather Factory! This is where they make the snowflakes. Each one is hoof-made. As you can see, it's a delicate operation.
Ooh, the snowflakes look even better from up here.
We better move on before Rarity ruins winter and causes a drought. And here's where they make the rainbows. Yeah, rainbows aren't really known for their flavor.
Whoa! Oh, where'd you get those amazing wings? I want a pair.
Yeah, I guess I could see that.
Oh, hey, look! It's Rainbow Crash again!
Yeah, Rainbow, crash!
Rarity, what are you doing talking to these guys?
Oh, they were just admiring my wings, Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, you should forget the Sonic Rainboom and just get yourself some wings like these!
Oh, come on, girls. Why don't we go see how clouds are made? Don't listen to them. You're gonna win that competition for sure.
Are you kidding? I can't do the Sonic Rainboom. And just look at these boring, plain old feathered wings. I'm doomed.
What, these old things? Go ahead, every pony. Photos are encouraged.
Rarity, we're supposed to be helping Rainbow Dash relax, remember? Put your wings away and stop showing off.
Oh, how can you ask me to put away perfection?
Rainbow Dash, are you okay? You don't look so good.
Of course. Why wouldn't I be okay? Everyone's so in love with Rarity's wings that they won't even notice when I totally blow it in the Best Young Flyers competition.
Hey, there's an idea. You should enter the competition.
Yeah, I could watch you fly all day long.
There really isn't any pony who uses their wings quite like me. Perhaps I should compete.
What?
What am I gonna do? I'll never win the competition now.
I'm going to be a while.
Fillies and Jezzelcals, please rise and join me in welcoming our beloved Princess Celestia! Please welcome our celebrity judges for the Best Young Flyer competition, the Wonderballs! And now, let's find out who will take the prize as this year's Best Young Flyer.
Okay, contestant number 1, you're up. Okay, number 2, let's go. Come on, we ain't got all day.
She's talking to you.
Oh, I guess that's me.
Okay, number 4, time to go.
I'm number 4, and I need just one more itsy-bitsy minute to be a dear and have some pony go ahead of me.
Look, I don't care who it is, but some ponies gotta go on.
Let's do this!
What am I gonna do?
I love number 7. Doing 15 barrel rolls in a row can't be easy.
My favorite is number 10. She just looked like such a nice pony.
Wonder how come we haven't seen Rainbow Dash or Rarity yet. The competition's almost over.
Number 15, let's go.
Rarity is ready.
Look, ladies, I don't know what to tell you. There's only time for one more performance. If you both want to compete, you'll just have to go out there together.
Well, Rainbow Dash, shall we?
And now, for our final competitor of the day, contestant number 15! And apparently contestant number 4.
Good luck, Rainbow Dash. Just do your best. I hope you don't mind, but I took the liberty of changing our music. That rock and roll doesn't really match my wings. Come on, Rainbow Dash. You can do this. Just remember the routine. Phase 1.
Nice work, Rainbow Crash!
Time for phase 2. Look, phase 2 is working. And now for my grand finale. I will fly right up to the sun and beam my beautiful wings over the whole city of Cloudsdale. Oh, they'll be talking about it for years. Looks like this is my last chance to turn things around.
Phase 3, the Sonic Rainboom. Wings, don't fail me now.
Look upon me, Equestria, for I am Rarity! I did it! I did it! You sure did? Oh, thank you, Rainbow Dash. You saved my life.
Oh, yeah, I did that too. Best day ever!
I want to apologize to all of you for getting so carried away with my beautiful wings. I guess I just lost my head.
It's okay.
Don't worry about it,
Rarity.
kiddo.
We still love you.
And I'm especially sorry that I was so thoughtless as to jump into the contest at the last minute after you had worked so hard to win it. Can you ever forgive me?
Oh, it's okay. Everything turned out all right?
I just wish I could have met the Wonderbolts when they were awake. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh!
So you're the little pony who saved our lives. We really wanted to meet you and say thanks.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh!
Princess.
Hello, Twilight Sparkle. And hello to your friends, too.
Princess Celestia, I'm sorry I ruined the competition. Rainbow Dash here really is the best flyer in Equestria.
I know she is, my dear. That's why, for her incredible acts of bravery and her spectacular Sonic Rainboom, I'm presenting the grand prize for Best Young Flyer to this year's winner, Ms. Rainbow Dash. So, Twilight Sparkle, did you learn anything about friendship from this experience?
I did, Princess. But I think Rarity learned even more than me.
I certainly did. I learned how important it is to keep your hooves on the ground and be there for your friends.
Excellent. Well done, Rarity.
This really is the best day ever!
Hey, Rainbow Crash.
Dash!
Oh, sorry, Rainbow Dash. We just wanted to congratulate you on winning the competition.
That Sonic Rainboom was awesome!
Thanks, guys.
We're really sorry we gave you such a hard time before.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Hey, do you want to hang out with us? Maybe you could show us how you did that incredible trick.
Sorry, boys. But I've got plans.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Sonic Rainboom, the episode. So, initial thoughts and whatnot? Yeah, that was definitely a really cute moment. Yeah, this episode gets a lot of positive reviews from just the fans. To be fair, I don't know if, on a more, for lack of better terms, objective scale, that is an outside entity. But yes, this episode really does strike really well with the fans, and it's not that hard to see why. Mr. Ben, there do exist some people out there who can tackle jalapenos, but you give them something even spicier than that, and they're going to go running off. Going, give me the milk, or something to quell the spice. Comes to spicy food, I'm always one to challenge myself. I've always got to have the hottest stuff, the forever. There you go. Whenever I go to a restaurant and they serve something like tortilla chips in particular, give me their hottest stuff. I don't care if it's gonna cause me to hallucinate. If it's strong, let me add it. So, what did you guys, overall, again, think of this episode? or I guess I already kind of asked that, but I guess I always start with initial thoughts, initial comments, initial silliness. So overall, how do you guys see this episode? Basically, high remarks. Yeah, it took me a. You wouldn't believe this. I've got quite a story to tell with this episode, but I'm gonna save that more towards the end when I always where I always summarize the episode. Right now, I just have a few things I want to go over for facts. Believe it or not, folks, I don't have a lot of notes on this episode. Um, Doing all the research, it's a fairly plain-faced episode, but that's not a bad thing. Sometimes you don't need deep symbolism, for lack of better terms, grand character development, or this overarching story like season 1, episode 14. Sometimes all I'm asking for is just a really good story, and this episode delivers that. Yeah, Twy, you bring up a good point that a state of you can see some progress Twy has made over the series based from this episode. That's a good point. Muffinshire, your points are good too. Not only to show a good reviewer, but there's definitely, especially in the beginning, there's good dynamics between Fluttershy and Dash. I've touched on the basis before that Dash is Fluttershy's guardian. What's funny is I think in this episode a lot they play off of it both ways. While I don't think, of course, Fluttershy is necessarily Dash's guardian overall, one of the things that I do like is that these two are so close to each other, for the obvious reason that we'll see eventually. But, swallowing a lot. Okay. As I was saying, Fluttershy and Dash, as I've said, they're close, and we'll eventually see that. What's really great about this episode, in my humble opinion, is that this episode and the Cutie Mark Chronicles will eventually be playing off of each other. They're basically, you could call them companion episodes, even despite some plot holes in it. But we'll get to those in a second. It certainly makes sense, and it's one thing is if they had Rarity walking on clouds, they probably could have. You probably could have filled that in that Twy cast a spell, since they addressed it and whatnot. But yeah, it's that was a good catch on their behalf that they did that. Yeah, because the spell wasn't tied in with wings. Yeah, Mr. Ben, Lyra is used quite a bit in this episode. When I rewatched this one earlier this week for reasons I'll get into eventually. But Lyra is put all over the place in this episode, and there's one part in particular where you can see her jumping about. I'll touch bases on this eventually, but anyone who's noticed, especially in these early episodes, look for Lyra bouncing in the audience. I would go so far as to say that the cast and crew, that they were trying to make Lyra the old derpy. That throughout an episode with a crowd, look for Lyra bouncing. But of course that never came to fruition, probably because of derpy. Yeah, you can think of it something like that, Twy. Ben. But she really, like I said, the whole bouncing Lyra thing, that kind of died out as the season progressed. And this is one of the last episodes in which she's featured that does that. I'll look into it a little bit further, but I do remember, especially in season 1, that this is one of the last episodes that she is in. And yeah, this whole Lyra not caring, That too is sipping smoothies and whatnot. Oh, look. The two most powerful magical beings in the who are not alicorns are fighting. Eh. Mmm. Smoothie. Right on. Okay, I'm just going to roll out some of these facts that I found. Yeah, it's Sonic Rainboom, a portmanteau of Rainbow and Sonic Boom. Um, of course, this intro is most famous for the Fluttershy's soft cheering. Seriously, that's without a doubt one of the most overly. I know I skipped over the Lyra piece, but I'm reading your guys' comments where Lyra is seen doing both at different points, jumping up and down while drinking the smoothie. I don't think that was a smoothie. I think that was an espresso shot smoothie. Hey, those things look like they come from a coffee shop, so it's completely plausible that they would accidentally mix some caffeine in there. Yay! Yeah, like I said, that introduction is just absolutely adorable. Just yay! I can't get enough of that. I'm sorry, folks. I love doing that. I've seen this. I've seen that. The yay, the intro scene itself, the entirety of it, parodied 100,000 times, clipped, snipped, dripped, and well, I can't think of any other thing here. Uh, Used in songs, in pictures. Heck, we had one on here earlier today. Death Ponies. I think it only just goes to show how much people liked that. Not only this episode, but that scene in particular. Of course, I think it helps that it's without a doubt one of the most adorable things that this show has ever given us. And then Baby Applejack came along, but we'll get there when we get there. All right, let's address that plot hole, shall we? Yeah, Pinky's saying she never saw a Sonic Rainboom, and yet, of course, the thing blew over her in season 1, episode 23. This leads me to believe that this episode was probably, yeah, I knew I was walking into it, and that's why I'm rubbing my head here, folks. Anyway, as I was saying, this leads me to make a hypothesis. I would bet that these two episodes, as I said, 23 and 16 here, work off of each other. That, like I said, they're companion episodes. I believe that, well, I believe 16 was started and finished first. 23 was still in some sort of production point when they were making it. So, of course, they had some idea of what they wanted in episode 23, but the show staff didn't correct themselves or anything. And that's a potential too, Mr. Ben. Yeah, in reverse order, these would work just as well. They did address the point of Dash saying, I did it when I was a filly. True. But, yeah, the two can work off in reverse order. So like I said, I think it's just an eventual plot hole that Pinky said she never saw it, and they never caught themselves. How so, Clever Pony? I'll allow this talk of the new episode just because, well, enough time has passed, so I'll allow it. Sorry, I keep bumping my mic. Well, here's the thing, Muffin Char. I'll get to that in a second if Clever will elaborate, if he's going to elaborate on what he said. Okay, I see what you're getting at, Clever. I think part of the reason, I think this episode, season 3, episode 9 here, or 10 in this case, or is it? I think this episode of season 3 and the next one are going to be playing off of each other. And since the next episode is the penultimate episode, I'm thinking, yeah, I noticed the anti-lag feature kicked in here. I'm thinking that these two play off of each other, and there's going to be something in the next episode that would make it the penultimate episode. We'll be talking about penultimate episodes and their specialty, for lack of better terms, when we get to the penultimate here. And yeah, the thing about this show, of course, is it's loosely continuous. While there are certainly some nods here and there, save for the two-parters, they really don't. They don't normally. Rarely do they keep things continuous. But of course, yeah, as Mr. Ben is pointing out here, so this was supposed to be episode 8, but the hub deliberately delayed it to deliberately delayed it so that we could get this sequel. This, I don't know if I'm using the term correctly, an anthology. And yeah, the present day events of the Cutie Mark Chronicles could have happened after the Sonic Rainboom, but they could just as well happen before. I said present day, so don't mistake the past stuff for the present day stuff. It would kind of make that plot hole a little bit weirder if it really did. However, we'll never know, so I'm not going to bother speculating on it. Clever. That, I don't know. I don't know why Cadence didn't invite Spike. He said he wasn't invited, correct? That, Spike was not... I don't remember... Okay. Because I don't remember if it was Twilight didn't let him go with, or he just didn't choose to, or he was intentionally not invited. But yeah, okay. One wonders why, but maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see why eventually. Do I doubt there's a good reason? Yeah, but of course I think it sets up the next episode. And if anything, I think it's just going to be kind of cool, kind of like watching Back to the Future 2. You've seen Back to the Future 1, so you know what happens. Now as you watch Back to the Future Part 2, you know what's going on at the same time. And you see all this background stuff happening, and you just go, oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Especially towards the end when Marty was... covering to help with the school dance. Mr. Ben. That too. Clever pony. All right. Anything else we want to address with episode 23 and 16 here in the continuity department, folks? I'll take that as a no. Anyway. Twy. Yeah, I think you're right. Well, he didn't eat him when he was there, so who knows? Who knows? We'll probably never know. But let's get back to some other stuff I want to discuss. This is, by the way, this is the first sighting of Cloudsdale, folks. The first sighting, I want to say, sighting. Because I think it was mentioned previously. I think it was in the first episode, but anyway, of course, it comes from. It could be Cloudsdale, Clouds and Dale split up. That's right. Twilight is magic. That's right. That's a good point. Anyway, a dale was an old term for valley. But Cloudsdale could also be a pun on Clydesdale. A Clydesdale is a breed of horse. Either one works for me. Personally, the very first time I heard that word, Cloudsdale, I always thought it was Clydesdale. Because if you've ever seen the Clydesdale horse, they are huge, but they are beautiful. They are really just gorgeous horses. You know what? Let me pull up an image. You know what? On second thought, maybe I shouldn't. Or on second thought, I can do that. I can at least get a screen of it before I pick it up. For any of you who've ever seen the Budweiser commercials, those are the horses they use. That's a Clydesdale horse. And yeah, that impressive feathering. That feathering, if you're sharp, how do I want to put this? Big Mac and Shining Armor have feathering on their hooves. So that's kind of how they would get their inspiration, or that's where that feathering comes from. Horses like this. And yeah, as I said, when I heard Clydesdale was the first thing I thought of. So that's why I personally prefer that Cloudsdale is a pun on Clydesdale. Just trying to emphasize so that I don't get the two a little too ambiguous here. And well, I mentioned back in episode 8 that we get an idea of how the weather works. This episode shows us how they make it. Some snowflakes to rain to clouds to rainbows. They show us everything here. Well, just about. There's, of course, how do they get their water, but that will come eventually. And lastly, for the two last things for the random stupid facts I have here. The music rarity picked is from Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake. And one of the things that I really like to I find with that song choice is we focus heavily on we'll get to that in a second, Twy, on Rainbow Dash's performance. And in my humble opinion, it both complements her performance and clashes with it. So what we get is just, how do I want to put this? I think it's the clashing I enjoy in particular. It's, there's kind of this grinding motion. It's like, we expect a hard rock song. We expect We Will Rock You. We expect Rock You Like a Hurricane. We expect Back in Black or something like that anyway. But no, we get a piece from Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake. Yeah, everyone. I always love those comments people give. Rarity, you're an overdressed hooker. That's a good point, clever pony. Well, you'd think in a show for little girls, especially in the first season, there would be a permanent rainbow in the sky, or two, or three, or five, or 10. So that's a good point to bring up. Mr. Penn. A kiss piece. Well, a glam rock song would have been perfect if it were Rarity's performance. Holy smokes, you killed 1970s experimental glam rock sensation David Bowie. Sorry, I just had to get that out there. Actually, I have a few more pieces, more than I thought. Mr. Blind Man here. Yeah, there's a reason I wear these things, folks. Of course, Rarity's rise and fall is based almost play by play on the Icarus legend from Greek mythology. All right, we want to talk about Rarity's fashion sense. Like I said earlier, I don't remember if you were here when we did. I know you weren't here when we did episode 10, but I know you were here when we did episode 14. What I said in episode 10 was because there's that one scene with Rarity's dressing dash for Celestia's appearance, and of course episode 14. What happened? What came to the conclusion of was this produces two different scenarios where they have silly outfits and serious outfits. Serious outfits would be something like their gala outfits, something they're supposed to look good in. Silly outfits are, of course, the exact, as their name implies. They're supposed to be silly. The ponies themselves may not believe it. Rarity herself might not believe that she looks goofy, or any pony for that matter, in their outfits. I might have to do that one, Mr. Ben. Or maybe we can get someone else to do it. Anyway, as I was saying, the silly outfits would be something like what Dash was wearing in episode 10. The silly outfits would be something Rarity wore here. I would make a comment on the Crackle outfit, but that wasn't just an outfit. That was to form a purpose, so I won't say anything about Crackle. For those of you who don't know the Icarus legend, it's like I said, it's almost play-by-play. Icarus and his dad, Daedalus, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, fashion wings for themselves so that they can escape the island of Crete. I'm just giving you the most abridged version here. They were fashioned out of wax and feathers. So sticks, wax, and sticks, wax, and feathers. Well, they escape Crete, but of course they're flying over this water, this big sea. Well, of course Icarus is so woohoo! I'm flying. Name me another mortal who has ever done that. And of course his father warned him, don't fly too low to the sea because the water will splash against the wings and make him too heavy. Don't fly too high because you'll fly too close to the sun. Remember, this is Greek mythology, folks, so it doesn't exactly work the way it does nowadays. Yeah, as Mr. Ben says, don't fly too high, but of course he does. The sun melts the wax off his wings disintegrate, or lose their hold, and he falls into the sea and drowns. So of course Rarity flies up to the sun, her wings get burnt, and she falls. So of course she doesn't die, but she now lives with that horrible memory forever. And finally, That was in reference to a mountain, though. Really, Muffinshire? Yeah, no kidding, Mr. Ben. I could tell anyone who's ever played Deus Ex Human Revolution, there's an upgrade you can get called the Icarus Landing System, wherein it stops you from dying, or it prevents you from falling down and dying. I thought, it's weird that it would be called that, because instead of Daedalus should be the name of that. But of course, no one remembers the survivors. They always have to remember they always remember the people who died. Lollipop Chainsaw, Mr. Ben. And finally, Spitfire's name comes from the Supermarine Spitfire, a British fighter plane used in World War II. Interesting enough, she comes from a plane. Makes sense to me. Yeah. Yeah, Muffinshire, I agree with you there. Go ahead, clever pony. I'll wait. Um, Clever. There's a brilliant saying that I found when it came to just after that episode. People are always saying when it comes to military commanders or even leaders and whatnot. Um, yeah, it's just that. They're cool outside of or they're cool off duty, real hard asses on duty. And yeah, Twy is pretty much pointing it out here. She was, there wasn't much to her. Even in episode 26, where there wasn't much to her. But yeah, as we've been pointing out, season 3, episode 7 was where she actually had to be, or she had a decent personality. She got some characterization, some of it. And yeah, drill instructors, royal hard asses when they're on duty, but cool when they're off. And then there's Arlie Ermy, Mr. Ben. But then again, he's one of the best drill instructors that I've ever seen. All right. So now I'm just going to kind of move into the episode overall. Where I get my thoughts and feelings on this one. This episode originally for me was not one of my favorites. It was only when I pulled an episode 12 on it that I saw this episode. Oh, good Lord, Mr. Ben. Oh, good Lord. I'm just picturing the episode 7 and Spitfire just running off a bunch of Arlie Ermy lines now. I won't repeat him for those of you who have never seen him, but just type in Full Metal Jacket Drill Sergeant or something like that effect, or Arlie Ermy, something like that. You won't be disappointed. The worst part about this is of course, back then, that was very, very true. But in that same breath, you can't help but just laugh because it seems so over the top. And of course, you're not the one getting yelled at, but but yeah, if you're looking for just a good thing to look at, type in Full Metal Jacket, Arlie Ermy or something like that. I will personally gouge out your eyes and skull fuck you, Spitfire says to Lightning Dust. Sir, yes, sir. I bet they regret that. I might just have to do that for poops and giggles and just get some of those lines and make a parody of that scene or something. Did your parents have any kids that lived? Sir, yes, sir. Bet they regret that. From now on, you're Gomer Pyle. I need to see that movie. The entire thing. I really do. Well, if they ever get season 3 over there, we can ask Ms. Heed herself. I would love to see that. I would love to see Annalie perform drill instructor Spitfire. That would be something I would pay money for. Is the lighting a little bit better, folks? Yeah, it's getting kind of dark over here. Yeah, I have heard some of her other voices that she does, and yeah, Chrysalis was one of her better ones. Okay. I just, of course, don't want to, I just don't want to make this all go dark and whatnot, because, this is the face of the show. Maybe there's a reason we only draw in so many people a day then. Anyway, let's get into our thoughts about why this episode is good or why this episode isn't. Funny thing is, folks, is originally I did not like this episode. There were some good moments in there, mostly the introduction, but the problem I had with it originally was, you remember how I said in episode 14 it made me start to look at Rarity a little bit different? Well, this episode, when I first watched it, took a lot of what I just said, that I started to look at Rarity a little different, and it felt like it just tore it to shreds. And that did not sit well with me, to put it nicely. And, well, as I said, I pulled an episode 12 on myself. For those of you who don't know, episode 12 of this season is not one of my favorites in the entire series and of this season. That's Call of the Cutie Mark. And while I originally, and as I said in that episode, as I said when we reviewed that episode, I didn't like it. But what I did was, for the sake of this show, was I took a second look at it, ignoring a lot of my stigmas, initial biases, and anger towards it, and just look at it from a more objective and or I won't say objective, I'll say neutral, a more neutral standpoint. And for this episode, that did a lot of good, because by the time I was done with it the second time through, let's just put it this way, this episode isn't good. It's really good. I can watch this episode now and love it. It really is. I can see now why people like this one so much. And one of the best things that I did was I looked at Rarity, the character in this episode, not from my initial stigma, but I looked at her from the point of view that I do with a lot of characters when I'm analyzing their flaws. So I saw this as a flaw as opposed to a, well, first time view. And that made it work wonders for me. And I'm just going to read some of these comments quickly. Clever Pony, I have absolutely no clue how that's working. Twilight, yeah, that's the episode. That could be it. Now, I'll say this, folks. While episode 12 didn't improve greatly, even from a second take, I can at least watch that one and enjoy it. But like I said, this one, on the other hand, it improved dramatically. It was wonderful. I liked that. And like I said, I looked at Rarity's flaw not as I would from a first-time perspective. I looked at it as if I were analyzing any other character's flaw. Like, Fluttershy or Discord or Twilight, anyone. And that's what helped me. And of course, well, I kind of could draw upon that what I used there was, of course, how do I word this? I'm now going to talk as if I normally do when it comes to character analysis on this show. Rarity, her biggest flaw, and this is where it stems from, where I say she's not greedy, she's proud, folks. This is the episode where I draw back from the heaviest. Her biggest flaw is not her greed. Her biggest flaw comes from the fact that she wants to be the center of attention. She's proud of her outfits, of her look, and thanks to episode 14, that is somewhat justifiable based upon the work she puts into it. But sometimes, of course, it gets to be too much. She gets to be too proud, and this is the episode that highlights it the best. Initially, she wasn't, of course. Believe it or not, Twilight is Magic, I could draw pride all the way back to every single character. I could draw it to, and I'm going to draw it to Rainbow Dash here in a moment. I can draw it to Rarity. I can draw it to Twilight. I'll eventually draw it to Pinkie Pie when we get to season 2. No, I take that back. A little bit later in this season. I'll draw it to Rainbow Dash here in a second. I'll draw it to Applejack when we review episode 4. And for those of you who don't know, I'll explain that in a bit. And I can draw it all the way back to, who am I missing? Pinkie Pie. No, I said Applejack. I said Dash, Fluttershy, Twi, and Rarity. Well, anyway, I can draw them all the way back. That's my point. And I know you guys are, I'm reading your posts. Don't worry. We'll get to some of those. We'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, as I was saying, yeah, it's vain pride. As you're pointing out, Mr. Ben, it's a specific kind of pride, of vain pride, where she thinks so highly of herself. She wants attention. Originally, when the episode started, of course, she, or at least, when they got to Cloudsdale, she just wanted to be there for Rainbow Dash. But of course, all the attention of her wings got to her head. Not only when she was looking in the mirror, but everyone's saying, wow, I've never seen those wings. They're so beautiful. Funny thing I found in research, those wings were based off of toys from Generation 1, wherein those wings were basically just as flimsy and paper thin. So it's almost hilarious that they burn up in this show. But again, echoing the story of Icarus, She's so proud. Look at me. I fly to the sun. I am higher than any mortal has ever been. Bam. Burns up the wings. And I know the story of Icarus is used time and time again, especially for Pride stories. But yeah, makes sense that it would work here. You could draw that conclusion, Twy. You really could. If anything, I just wouldn't be shocked if, the kids who bought those toys knew, here they are 20, almost 30 years later, and um, and they're going to look back. Some of them are going to look back at Rarity in this show, and they're going to laugh because they know, those are just like the Flutter Pony toys I used to have. I remember how flimsy and weak those wings were. But anyway, that's all I really have to say about Rarity. And now let's talk about Rainbow Dash here, her character. This episode, I do like. If there was one thing I originally liked, and still to this day like about this episode, is the characterization they gave Rainbow Dash. All throughout up to this point, we were led to believe that Rainbow Dash was invincible. Or at least, on the surface, of course. Anyone who's seen, anyone who's been watching, who has been watching TV shows for, 10, 20 years like I have, you know that the strongest person, the one who, excuse me, what was I going to say? The ones who shield themselves, the ones who make themselves invincible, oftentimes have the softest center. You cut away and through that thick outer layer, and what's left is what can only be described as the scaredest looking soul you've ever seen. And this one is no different. What's great, of course, is, like I said, Rainbow Dash is now exposed for her greatest flaw. She takes so much pride, or at least one part. There's more to her flaw that we'll get to when we get to season 2, but there is one thing that there is this flaw of hers that's just brilliant. She sees herself as the greatest, but she has performance anxieties. Now, of course, I could go into, there's a difference between when no one's watching and when there is someone watching, but come on, we've all been there. But one of the things that I like about this episode is that it just, as it goes on and on and on, she just starts to lose it to the point where she's just a shivering mass of pony on the floor. And it's absolutely well done. And why don't we address that now? I know a lot of you have been saying the characterizations of the others were very well written in this episode. Yeah, I can agree to that. Part of the problem I didn't analyze it that much in my notes was just because I never thought about that. So I'm kind of glad you guys are bringing that up. One of the things that I always did like about this episode was Rarity in the beginning. Who was the one who was saying, we need to be there for Rainbow Dash, and was the first one to volunteer? Her. We'll talk. I'm sure we're going to be drawing up a lot of parallels between this episode and that episode, Mr. Ben, but we'll get there when we get there. Anyway, what do you guys have to really say about the other characters? Because I'm kind of at a loss for words here. I do have to admit, while you're writing there, yeah, Pinky was really well written in this episode. Wasn't too much, but just her usual silly self. I always like that. How did you do that so fast? It landed on me when Rainbow Dash flew in. What dumb luck. Though I will say this. If it were any pony else, who got that book knocked on their head, I would question that. I'd cry foul. I'd cry foul at her, at the pony who found it. The sole fact that it's Pinkie Pie, it falls under. Oh well. Or as Death Pony puts it, it's Pinkie Pie. So what about Fluttershy then? We'll kind of move on to her. Yep, life's a game. Pinky has cheat codes enabled. This episode, I will say, definitely does Fluttershy really nice too. I think she's probably one of the more supporting casts. But yeah, it's just so darn cute. A lot of the non-main cast I don't have much to say about, but yeah. And of course, the introduction would, as I mentioned earlier, be burned into the retinas and ears of every brony who's ever been through this fandom forever. All of the yay in the world. And of course, all of this too. I do the Monty Python version, but I really don't want to fall over and ruin these. That is a good point now that you mentioned that, Mr. Ben. Because we're going to be seeing that in a few episodes, about 10 of them in particular. What's funny, of course, is everyone else is just sitting there with their jaws hanging down, but Fluttershy's jumping up and down, cheering and screaming and hollering. It's so cute. She just spoke for all of us right there. All right, now what of AJ? Ooh, one thing that I just thought of that came up here. Remember how in episode 8 I said how AJ and Rarity have, extreme personalities where Rarity is extremely detail oriented and AJ isn't? Here's one of those instances again, folks. You notice how it was Rarity who pointed out that Rainbow Dash had stage fright, but AJ brushed it off? Yeah, bringing that up again. Yeah, one of the things that I found when it comes to storytelling, folks, that I've had to critique my fair share of fanfics. And one of the things that I've noticed when it comes to putting characters in there, 9 times out of 10, or the vast majority of times, you want your characters to be there for a reason. Except for maybe in visual media where, you want a crowd, but that's a different story. In terms of characters that matter, you want characters to be there for a reason. But there are some rare instances where you put the character in there because it just makes sense. That to leave them out would leave your audience going, why would you leave them out? This is one of those situations. Let's take all the characters who have absolutely no purpose in this episode. That would be Pinky and AJ. And just take them out. You could even we'll take Fluttershy out too. And then what? Yeah, you're going to be left going, why are they not here? And shoot it, I guess it makes sense for Fluttershy to be there because, original cheering section. True, Mr. Ben. It's true that she could have been removed and absolutely nothing would have changed from the story, from this story anyway. But this is, this is reinforcing my point that to leave them out would have left us going, why? Why did you leave them out? And of course, that would have weakened this episode's value. Twy. But again, that just reinforces my point of that notion. All right. So how do you guys classify this episode? A Rainbow Dash episode or a Rarity episode? The reason I bring this up is because here's the thing. The focus is heavily on Rainbow Dash in this episode, but it's Rarity who gives the lesson. So whose episode is this? Mr. Ben. I think that's a good point, Twy. And that, like I said, that's just it though, is that Dash is so much the focus of it, but yeah, Rarity gives the lesson here. So that's like I said, that's where my confusion comes in, and that's why I'm asking you guys. Clever. I think I'm going to classify this one as a joint effort. Because I think Twy makes he makes his argument known. That's what I'm trying to say. So overall, okay, yeah, I like the way you're wording that, Twy. That the two, in this case, the two must be there because one without the other would have been, it would have made for a different episode. And yeah, though to be fair, there could be the idea of, in this episode, it could be a Face Your Fear episode. But of course, they would save that for the third season. And of course, finally give us a Scootaloo episode, but we'll get there when we get there. This could have been a Stage Fright Happens, but I don't think that would have been, I don't know if that would have been as memorable. And of course, if we put Rarity in there, then, or if we take Dash out, then it probably would have it probably wouldn't have even shown Cloudsdale. It would have been, a completely different story focused around her, which would have been fine, but it wouldn't have been this. So, yeah, I'm thinking you're correct in this application, Twy. It needs both of them to work in the way it does, as you're quoting here. So overall, yeah, they could have, Mr. Ben. All right, so final ratings, folks. Final thoughts, final rating. How's this episode rank? Eight out of 10. Okay. That's fine that you don't assign numbers. I don't like to assign numbers either. Just, do you rate it highly? Do you rate it lowly? Do you rate it what so? Yeah, that's exactly it, Twy. The reason I don't rate him is because it's assigning quantity to a quality, and that can be difficult. And of course, what's going to happen? It's going to be just like what I said about this episode. Originally, I hated it. Now I love it. So what? That means that my 2 out of 10 now becomes an 8 out of 10, or a 9 out of 10, or a 10 out of 10. That's not fair to. That kind of just stinks. As I said, I love this episode now quite a bit. No, I'm not going to start playing it again and again and again, but I love this episode because I saw it in a new light, and I absolutely enjoy it now. I don't know where it is on my list of favorite season 1 episodes, but I think it might have snuck into the top 10 somewhere. Cool. Clever. I saw that. That's cool. Twy, I can tell you, yeah, I know what you're coming from, but let me guess. You have your number 1, and it's going to it would take a huge shift in perspective to change that, correct? Okay, fair enough. And I'm not meaning number 1 in the whole series. I mean even of the season. But it's like you have your number 1. You have your number 1 of the season, and and uh, and then maybe your number 2 and 3, which are a little bit more concrete but loose and can change. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, just out of curiosity, Twilight, if he chooses to answer that, Clever and Mr. Ben, what did you see in it that you guys? What did you guys see? What did you guys see in those episodes that made you change your mind? And yeah, Clever. That's a good point. Pitting the intros and finales against mid-season episodes. That's not much of a fair contest. You would have to judge the two on different grounds. But of course, that might be from a more overall perspective, as in overall of audience. Yeah, Mr. Ben, I was referring to that. From an overall perspective, as in not just my sole opinion alone, but why it's a well-reviewed episode from just this audience, from the larger EQD audience, from the entire Brony sphere. That's, yeah, you definitely do need to pit those against it if you're trying to review those two types in particular. Okay, we are still here. Just making sure, folks. I can't wait till we get to that episode, those episodes myself, Clever, because what was it I was going to say? Lost my train of thought. Sorry. Mr. Ben's text came up and it's like, blah, blah, blah. I can't wait to get to that episode because there is going to be a plethora of stuff to talk about. I might have to just, I wouldn't be shocked if I had to bleed that episode into the next episode. We had to spend 2 episodes talking about these 2 episodes. And I'm going to be showing the episodes back to back when we get there. Okay, fair enough, Mr. Ben. Mr. Ben. I wouldn't be, they keep teasing us about Star Swirl the Bearded. I wouldn't be shocked if they bring him in there at some point. There definitely needs to be some backstories on a lot of this stuff, and I would love it explained at some point. That's about all I really have to say about this episode. It's funny. I was expecting us to spend more time on the content, folks, and I guess ultimately we did, but I was only expecting to spend maybe about half an hour on this just because of the irony of we would be ending at 2 hours, so I would be saying, huh, we, wait, no, I take that back. But I was expecting only to spend about a half an hour after the episode because that way I'd say, well, look at that. We ended on 2 hours. Because, life prefers irony. We are just about approaching the 3 hour mark, folks. So that means that including the episode, we spent an equal amount of time on content and the second hour. But you know what? That's why we do this. All right. So, just wrap a few things up. As I said, we will be moving to our new website. I'm hoping to get it announced on Monday, but at the very latest, it will be Wednesday. I will reveal the name. We'll have everything set up by then. We will have will be what was I going to say? I'll announce the name and all that fun jazz. You'll know where I'm going. If you're smart, you probably already have a good guess. But like I say, it was out of respect for the clients that I decided not to reveal where we're going. Yeah, regardless, they'll make the announcement, Mr. Ben. I'm waiting for them to do it. I kind of had a secret meeting and no, I didn't. Not with them. I thought about it and as we said earlier, I've always wanted to reveal it, but I thought, you know what? Nah, I'll wait for them to do it. Anyway, as I said, you'll know about it at Wednesday at the latest. We'll be moving there. We'll be broadcasting on Sundays from now on. I'll make sure to let all the people that need to know it know that, which would mostly just be Discord's domain at this point. Next week we're planning on reviewing episode 17. The reason I want to do this is just because make things easy on a lot of us, not only for the clients but for myself. This way, I don't have a complicated interview or anything nasty to set up. Just keep things easy on us. After that, though, I am planning on a few interviews. There's one in particular I'm looking forward to. Other than that, you guys have anything left to say, Mr. Ben, as we wrap this up? So it sounds like a lot of you guys are kind of happy that we're moving to Sundays. I'm personally just tickled that you guys decided to stop here more than anything now that I think about it. And to be fair, maybe it's because I'm before or after some of these, but still, I'm more than tickled that you guys do. Thank you. Yeah, with sound. Blah, 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 blah. All right. We got about 20 seconds left before we hit the 3 hour mark, folks. So
for poops and giggles, yeah, I'm going to stretch it out for that long. The only thing I'm hoping by is that this move, despite it, we're going to get a huge audience increase. I'm just hoping that the feel of the show still sticks. That's the one thing in the world that I'm hoping, that no matter what, it still is BWB, the stuff that you guys come here every week to watch and view. Other than that, I am finished. Last episode here on Tripod. Hope to see you next week at our new site. Farewell.